when the whole world was in the race of electric vehicles and every company was talking about EVs, batteries, range, and charging infrastructure, at that time General Motors, that is GM, did something that shook the entire auto industry. Imagine when everyone was talking about motors and batteries, GM quietly dropped such a bomb in the world of petrol engines, which is enough to give sleepless nights to EV companies. And this is not any ordinary engine. This is a brand new high-performance V8 engine, which has become synonymous with both power and speed. Now the big question arises, why did GM take such a big bet on a petrol engine in the era of EVs? Is there any technology in it that will force even giants like Tesla and BYD to think, is this engine so powerful that the glory of EVs will fade? And how will this engine change the future of vehicles? In this video, we will show you the power of this engine technology and the reason due to which it can change the whole game. Stay till the end of the video, because the revelations that are going to happen next can blow the mind of any auto lover. And yes, before moving ahead in the video, subscribe to the channel so that you can get such strong automobile updates. First, before knowing about that new V8 engine of GM, let us understand what General Motors, that is GM Motor, is, and what kind of vehicles this company is famous for. Because when the name of a company is taken all over the world, then there is definitely a reason behind it. General Motors is a well-known and very old automobile company of America, which started in 1908. That is, this is the brand that has seen the world of cars rise and fall, and has itself been a player who has survived in every era. GM Motor is the parent company of many famous brands like Chevrolet, GMC, Cadillac, and Buick. Now, if we talk about which type of vehicles GM is most popular for, then the direct answer is powerful and big-size vehicles. Yes, GM Motor is best known for pickup trucks, SUVs, and muscle cars. Trucks like Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra are the first choice of people in America. At the same time, luxury SUVs like Cadillac Escalade are also part of GM's portfolio, which are liked by everyone from Hollywood to the business world. Now, let's take a look at the performance of GM Motor last year, that is, 2024. You will be surprised to know that GM sold about 6.3 million vehicles worldwide last year. This is not a small figure. The highest sales of these vehicles took place in America, where GM is still the market leader. At the same time, the second largest market for GM is China, where the company manufactures and sells Buick and Chevrolet vehicles through joint ventures like SAIC GM. Apart from this, GM also has a good presence in areas like Canada, South America, the Middle East, and Africa. Now, let's talk about GM's current position. Even though brands like Toyota and Volkswagen are at number 1 and 2 globally, GM is still counted among the top 5 auto companies. Especially in America, GM's supremacy still remains intact. And GM is not behind in the EV race either. With models like Chevrolet Bolt EV, Cadillac Lyriq, and Hummer EV, the company is constantly making its portfolio electric. GM has even announced that after 2035, it will make only EVs. But in the meantime, when GM has launched a new petrol V8 engine, it shows that the company still understands the needs of all types of customers. Return of the petrol engine amidst the EV revolution. Why did GM do this when the whole world is running towards electric vehicles? When every company is running after EV batteries, charging stations, and silent motors? At such a time, if a company brings back the petrol engine, that too with a powerful engine like V8, then the question arises, why did GM play this gamble? Have they gone mad, or are they seeing something that is hidden from other companies? There isn't just one answer behind this decision. There are actually many layers that show this step by GM is definitely not a hasty move, but rather a well-thought-out strategy. First of all, it's important to understand that as quickly as the EV market has grown, some problems have also popped up just as fast. Sure, people are buying EVs, but honestly, a lot of folks are still confused. In some places, there's tension about charging. In others, there's worry about the life of the battery. And, well, the high price makes people think twice. EVs, they still work pretty well in cities, But when it comes to long distances, highways or hilly roads, people still tend to rely on petrol or diesel. And that's something GM has really picked up on. Not everyone is ready to adopt an EV just yet. GM understands that everyone is dreaming of moving towards EVs, but even today there's a huge population that wants that classic power. You know, that sound of the engine, that jolt when you accelerate, and that feeling you only get from a real engine. Especially in the US, Canada, Australia, and a lot of Midwest countries, there's honestly no shortage of drivers who say, "We want an engine, not a motor," and GM wants to make sure there's an option for these folks, so this decision has been made not just based on technology, but also on the psychology of the customer. Now let's look at another reason: market diversification. Becoming completely dependent on electric vehicles is a risky game. If there is ever a problem in the supply chain or the price of any rare metal suddenly increases, such as lithium or cobalt, then the entire electric vehicle production can come to a halt. GM does not want to take such a risk. It wants to have options, electric as well as petrol, and in the future, hydrogen or biofuel as well. This helps the company maintain its hold in every segment, be it a truck, SUV, or a sports car. Now, talking about the emotional connection, the V8 engine is not just a machine but is really the automotive identity of America. People have memories associated with it. Its roar at a car show, children's first ride, road trips with their father, all these are associated with that engine. GM knows that just selling new things does not make the brand work. It's also important to remind people of the old. This is why they combine the old classic feel with modern technology and introduce the new V8 engine. Another big thing is that the biggest unique selling point of electric vehicle companies, that is, being good for the environment, has now also become a matter of debate because making batteries also harms the environment, and disposal of old batteries has become a headache. On the other hand, petrol engines have so much advanced technology these days that their emissions have reduced a lot compared to before. GM says that their new V8 engine is not only powerful, but also better for the environment than before. That is, they have brought not only power, but also responsibility. And yes, it can also be called a statement. GM wants to show other companies that it is not a part of the crowd but a trend-making company. When everyone is running in the same direction, the one who reaches the destination even while moving in the opposite direction is the real leader. GM has shown that it still has the potential to be a game changer in the auto industry. GM bringing back the petrol V8 engine is not a retro stunt, it is a strategic master move. They know that the EV revolution will continue, but not everyone is ready for that revolution, and until every customer's need is met, a company's work remains incomplete. Thinking this, GM took this decision, and perhaps this is the reason why today their move is being discussed in every corner. History of the V8 engine and its power. Why is it so special? Now the question is, what exactly is this V8 engine? Why is there so much talk about it? And why is it still considered the identity of power in sports cars? Its name itself is related to its design. V means its shape is like a V, and 8 means it has 8 cylinders. That is, fuel and air from 8 different places combine to create power, which gives tremendous power and torque to the vehicle. These cylinders are set in 2 lines, 4 each, and form a V shape. This design makes it different and special from other engines. More cylinders mean more power, more smooth performance, and a unique rumble that touches the heart of speed lovers. Now, if we talk about its history, then the V8 engine is not a new discovery. It was born in the early 1900s. The first V8 engine was made by a French company in 1904, but it got its real recognition when Cadillac introduced a mass-production V8 engine in 1915. After this, the V8 engine started ruling the roads of America. Companies like Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge started installing it in their muscle cars and trucks, and the V8 became an icon. The 1960s and 70s were the golden era of V8 engines. At that time, muscle cars were a craze in America. Huge cars that people would stop to look at when parked on the street. Ford Mustang, Chevrolet Camaro, Dodge Charger. The V8 engine was the soul of all these cars. This was the time when driving a car was not just a necessity, it had become a passion, and the sound of that passion was the roar of the V8. Now, the question arises that in today's era, when electric cars are coming and companies are installing small turbo engines, then what is the meaning of V8? So the answer is, V8 is not just a name for power, it is a feeling. This is for those people who consider a car not just a machine but, an emotion. When you start a car with a V8 engine, the roaring sound that comes from it excites you from within, you feel as if you have unleashed a fighting horse. And not just the sound, the V8 engine is also, really powerful in performance. This engine gives a lot of torque, which makes it easy to pull even heavy vehicles. That is why V8 is still used in pickup trucks, off-road SUVs, and high-performance sports cars. Its power gives acceleration on the highway and grip in the mountains. Today, even though many companies are moving away from V8 due to environment and fuel economy, those who are real auto lovers still consider it a super engine.